Combine starts a week from today officially. We'll be there starting next Tuesday. Not next Tuesday. God, it's 2 weeks away. Whew, I'm not going to wish my life away. I want to enjoy next week. 2 Tuesdays from now. The next Tuesday we have a show. We'll be there interviewing GMs and coaches and whatnot, and we will be there again Thursday, Friday, and Wednesday. I got my days out of order, just like Apollonia and The Godfather. But there'll be prospects. There'll be lots of stuff. I love that opportunity to get to know the guys on the way in. But regardless, this is the opportunity for the teams to meet with agents and to begin the tampering process and to figure out who's going to go where potentially when free agency opens. So, it used to be, Chris, there weren't a lot of free agents starting quarterbacks available. It's changed in recent years, and now there's always some. So let's consider the teams that need a quarterback as we head into free agency and the draft. And the cupboard is bare this year in comparison to last year when it comes to high-end quarterbacks, a multitude of high-end quarterbacks. So let's put a list together.
All right, cool.
Of who we think is going to be looking for a quarterback in the next few weeks. Go ahead.
I'll rattle off. First off, here, this is a baseline just to wipe off, I think, a bunch of teams right off the list, right? I don't think anybody in the AFC or NFC playoffs needs a quarterback or is looking for a quarterback other than the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Would you agree with that? Right.
Put the Steelers on the list.
The Steelers are on the list. As I have it here, I have 8 teams, 9 tentatively, but I really think it's 8. So Steelers 1. I think the Colts got to be on that list to a degree. You would agree with that? And yeah, let's talk about it. Go ahead.
I don't disagree with it. No, I don't disagree with it. Let's go with the obvious ones first.
Okay. Steelers.
I don't think the Colts are an obvious no-brainer. We need a quarterback.
The
Steelers clearly do.
Jets, Raiders.
Yes.
Titans. I'm going to put Browns in the obvious category. Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson retore his Achilles tendon.
All right, so we're good there. The Giants. Okay, that's the other one. And then pending is the Saints. So basically, I have 7 teams, including the Colts, which we'll discuss here in a minute. And then there's the Saints, who we don't know what they're going to do with Derek Carr in that situation as of right now.
And I agree with you on all of those. I'm just doing a quick skim here to see if there's anyone else. For the ones that definitely are in the market, I agree with you. There are some other maybes we'll get to. And the Colts, I think, are a maybe because it's only year 3 for Anthony Richardson. And we heard how Michael Pittman spoke of him in in New Orleans last week regarding Indianapolis. We're going to Indianapolis. I'm getting my 2 cities mixed up. So, yeah, I think that's a good list. And that's a lot of teams. At one point when we were talking about potential quarterback destinations, are there really going to be that many this year? When you sit down and think about it, yes, there are. And right after the coaching carousel ends, the quarterback carousel fires up. And these teams now are currently planning who they're going to get and how they're going to get him and what they're going to do. And if you don't sign a guy, you're running the risk you're not going to emerge from the draft with a guy.
No, exactly right. This is where these next few weeks are going to be crucial, right? And kind of figuring out, okay, here's where we are in the draft, right? Here's the free agent quarterbacks that are available, and start to assess the situation and come up with a formula here, right? Because again, you want to make sure you get the right guy. You want to make sure you kind of got a good feel for the draft. You want to make sure you don't let some good player that you like because you kind of were twiddling your thumbs and you let somebody in free agency go. You don't want to be like the Atlanta Falcons and give somebody $55 million a year and then find out, oh, crap, I like this guy a whole lot 5 weeks later. So that's where these next few weeks are extremely crucial for these teams that need the QBs.
So let's move on then to the next cut. You mentioned the Colts, and I agree they need to have a quality backup who will push Anthony Richardson. Gone are the days of Peyton Manning with a completely non-threatening backup. And I can't even remember some of the names. Jim Sorgi, was he one of the backups?
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's fine. There are 2 types of backups. There's the backup who is there solely and exclusively to support the starter. And we're not going to devote any resources to a backup quarterback. That was the way that the Colts did it under Bill Polian. Then you've got the backup quarterback who is there to push the starter and compete with the starter and maybe take over for the starter, and that's what the Colts need to have.
Right.
They can't have a guy who's just there to support Anthony Richardson. They need a threat who's going to get the most out of Richardson, who's going to be that extra little kick in the ass to get him to do everything they need him to do and reach his full potential.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that's exactly what it is. They just got to have a fail-safe plan. I think that's what we're kind of talking about here. You can't go all eggs in the basket of like, hey, we're just Anthony Richardson and we're gonna have, like you said, Jim Sorgi behind him, and oh man, if it doesn't work out, then we're just gonna fall apart. It's over, right? So they got to have something to protect themselves, like they did this year. I mean, whether it's Joe Flacco or maybe they want to go a better version of that and somebody they think that's even better, I don't know, but yeah, that's the things they got to figure out here in the meantime.
Okay. Let's continue then for the maybes. And
Right.
I know that one, and I have the teams loaded in my brain from AFC East, North, South, West, and then NFC. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom of my mental stack. There's weird vibes about what the Rams are going to do with Matthew Stafford. And there was a report from NFL media that Stafford's definitely going to play, and they're going to work out a deal with the Rams, and it created a very strong sense he's coming back for a year, and both sides want it. I'm not so sure they do, because there's just this nagging notion that he's in play. And things like that just don't spontaneously happen. And if they do spontaneously happen, the team throws water all over it with a simple, are you crazy? So I feel like the Rams are at least shopping. I think the Rams are doing the bird in the hand thing. Is there someone else we can get who's younger and potentially as good? Is there a way we can offload Matthew Stafford? I feel like that's happening. So they're in the maybe category for me.
Yeah, they're a team that I think is always open for business. I do. But I again, what I would just challenge with that whole thing is Matthew Stafford's still damn good. And the Rams are ready. I mean, they're ready. We saw it. I mean, so that's where I don't know. And I think a little too, Mike, right, where, I mean, I'm with you. Usually where there's smoke, there's fire, right? But I think people, like, especially up here in the New York area, people have said, like, the New York Giants and Stafford, right? And I think because of what? Stafford, there's a brother-in-law that maybe was just hired by the Giants coaching staff, and people are trying to connect
assistant
dots.
Quarterbacks coach.
Right. Like, let's squash some of that now. Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford aren't going to be like, hey, let me go to some of the shittiest teams in football so I can get killed at the end of my career and end my career, right? I mean, that's not going to happen. So he's not going to let that happen. So people, stop talking about it. You're wasting your breath.
Yeah. People have been pegging Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's going to go to the Raiders and go, hey, who's my receiver? Who's my running back? We're not very good on offense. Oh, we got me and Max Crosby. Yeah. We're going to start off the 70s Raiders
Brock
again.
Bowers.
Just us two. And Brock Bowers. Okay.
Brock Bowers.
We got
Don't
three
forget
people.
Brock.
We got three people we're about to take down. And that's what Rodgers wants. He wants to go to the AFC West and lose to Patrick Mahomes twice a year so people can crap on him more that he can't beat great quarterbacks. Yeah, right. That's what what are people thinking with some of these comments? I'm seriously, I've been watching TV lately going, are these people listening to what they're saying? Like, what?
The Raiders-Rodgers thing makes no sense whatsoever, and it continues to be pushed. They are a distant fourth right now in the AFC West. They've got three other teams in the division that made the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers, if he plays another year, and there's no guarantee he's going to, if he does, he doesn't want his last year to be like his last two. He wants it to be more like his time with Green Bay. He needs to show us all that the Jets experience was an aberration. If he goes to another bad team and has another bad season, it's confirmation that he's just lost it. He's not the guy he used to be. And it's sad and it's pathetic. And why did you come back for another year? So that's why I think for him, it's the Steelers and maybe it's the Titans. Maybe it's the Titans. Titans are in a pretty good division from the standpoint of ability to win it. All due respect to the Texans and the Colts and the Jaguars, but it's not murderer's row. I just think the Steelers make the most sense. The Steelers have always made the most sense. I've been saying it for months now. The Steelers make the most sense for Aaron Rodgers.
I don't disagree with you there. When you connect that, I mean, the Steelers, the next one I go to when it comes to Rodgers a little bit, I hear you with Tennessee, but I would think, and again, that's a system that I think would fit him. But then I do question, are they good enough for him to like want to deal with that? The other one that I just under the radar to me that makes sense from football a little is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, I still think, got some pieces there that they could be competitive and good, but they got to figure out a lot of things. Myles Garrett, where they want to go with the team right now, all of that. But yeah, I think your Steelers one is the one I look at for sure.
Hey, for all we know, the straw that broke the camel's back for Myles Garrett and got him to ask for a trade was hearing that they're going to pursue Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. There may be a hell of a story there. There may be a hell of a cause and effect relationship. But, yeah, the Titans, the thing that I'm fascinated by, Chad Brinker, the new guy in charge of the football operation, president of football operations, who somehow ended up with final say through almost a shell game, it feels like, of the past 2 years. But he's in charge. He had 13 years in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. And that's one of those where on the surface you say, oh, well, yeah. But then 13 years with Aaron Rodgers, if he knows all there is to know about Aaron Rodgers, the guy who's a potential pain in your ass. So Chad Brinker may not want anything to do with Aaron Rodgers. And Rodgers, to the extent he identifies Brinker with the front office he loathed in Green Bay. Remember, he wanted to get Brian Gutekunst fired.
Right,
reportedly, and I have no reason to doubt Charles Robinson's report on that matter. He may not want to have anything to do with Brinker. So this may be one of those situations where past association does not suggest that there will be future relationships.
No, you're right about that. I mean, it's you don't know how that is viewed by either side there. So that'll be interesting to kind of watch as we go here into the future. But this is going to be interesting. To your point, this whole thing, whether it's Rodgers, what he does, Sam Darnold. So, you look at it and you go, yeah, after you look at that with a weak draft and some of the quarterbacks are going to be out there with that are out there for free agency, you do look at it and feel like, man, there's going to be some teams that are going to be stuck with some quarterbacks that might not exactly excite a fan base or could be looked at or viewed as a little underwhelming for the way it looks like it could shape up here in 2025 free agency.
One team we didn't mention.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Right.
Because I think Sam Darnold will leave.
Yep.
When Kevin O'Connell says he's earned the right to become a free agent, that is the most positive way possible of saying he's not going to be here next year unless he takes our lowball offer that we'll put on the table so he's not insulted. It won't be an insulting offer, but it'll be on the low end of what his market likely will be. And if he wants to come back here, we'll take him. If he doesn't, what do they do? And please do not put Aaron Rodgers in Minnesota. I will. Look, Vikings, if you want me to exit the fan base for good, if you want me to disown you the way that some quarterbacks have disowned their families, although there may be some poetry to that, then go ahead and add Aaron Rodgers. Do it. Because that will make it happen.
They won't do it.
Makes no sense.
Don't worry.
Let's go with J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota. We don't need to see Aaron Rodgers in purple to complete, because people are caught up in the whole parallels to Brett Favre. Hey, from Green Bay to the Jets to Minnesota. No, up your butt, Joe Boo. It's not going to happen. It shouldn't happen. But Minnesota may need someone. Maybe Daniel Jones, just keep him around.
I think that's exactly what it's going to be.
I think that makes the most sense.
I do. I mean, from everything I know up in Minnesota, they were extremely impressed with Daniel Jones. Extremely impressed. So I think that's the way it'll be. And it's a good formula. It's actually a lot like they had last year. Wait, we got a young quarterback with a guy who's played a little bit, but he was on a bad team, and we think he's better than what everybody else does because he was just on a crappy team. He didn't look all that good. So I expect it to be J.J. McCarthy. We heard Kevin O'Connell wax poetically about J.J. McCarthy, and I did not think it was BS. With just the look in his eye, you could tell he loved J.J. McCarthy, the prospect, when he was coming out, and he fits that offense. So I can understand that love affair. And I think, they're going to go with what they evaluated and what they want. They're going to go with McCarthy, and then they got the insurance plan of Daniel Jones behind them, and that's what I expect there in Minnesota. They're playing the long play. Why would you want to deal with Rodgers for a year and then go, oh, he's out of here, and then, oh, crap, oh, yeah, now let's develop J.J. McCarthy now. I think this is about something bigger right now, and they got a chance with J.J. McCarthy and your receivers with the age they're at and Hawkinson and all that to develop a nucleus here that could be dominant for quite some time, and I don't think they're going to lose that vision there.
I just feel like from the standpoint of plenty of teams, not every team.
Yeah.
But I think the attitude of plenty of teams is we're exhausted by Aaron Rodgers, and he's not good enough anymore to justify the exhaustion.
Definitely. Exactly right. He's crossed the territory of, is this team desperate and needy enough to deal and want with him and then have to deal with the circus around it? That's what it's got. And yes, I know, whatever. There is definitely... a huge group of people in football that scratch their head with Aaron Rodgers right now. So, there's not going to be a lot of teams that are going to be like, oh, yeah, we want him so he can come in here and change our culture and do things the way he wants and, hijack the offense for, a year and then see you later? That doesn't appeal to most coaches in their situations out there.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.